Hello everyone, I'm very happy to be with you again and to have this time for us to go further into our meditations together. Meditation is a way to inner freedom. We long for freedom, and images of freedom frequently appear in our minds and dreams. These ideas of freedom usually take the form of pictures of being able to do whatever we want to do. And when we feel discontent, it's often because of a contrast between these imaginings and what seems to be the reality of our situation. The universal wish to be free of all constrictions is not pure fantasy. It is related to our highest potential, the best in us waiting to be uncovered. Let us understand the real nature of freedom. Friends, true freedom is not the ability to do anything we like. It is to know that there is nothing lacking, because all perfection and wholeness is realized in our true self. This is the complete fulfillment and freedom which can be attained through meditation and dedication. Perfect freedom is not possible for the body and mind, because body and mind belong to the phenomenal world that is inescapably bound to the law of cause and effect. Ultimate freedom lies in the knowledge that we're more than body and mind, and that our deeper nature, what is most truly ourself, is not contained in any of the changing objects and events in the world. What is real in each of us is at one with the timeless, universal reality in all. And in this perfection and wholeness, nothing remains to be done or to be known. Last time we were together, we noticed that if this is the truth about our real nature now, we might ask, why do we need to practice meditation? Are we not contradicting the non-dual principle by saying that we have to do something in order to realize what is already true? And we found that the answer lies in the subtle but important distinction between what we are in essence and what we experience. In particular, the distinction between our consciousness, which is our self, and everything we are conscious of, which is our mind. When we thought about this last time, we understood that the feeling of I am, which really belongs to our consciousness, somehow gets imposed onto our mind. So instead of feeling I am the light of consciousness, which is free and self-luminous, we feel I'm the contents of my mind, which is full of limitations and uncertainty. The path to freedom lies in realizing more and more fully that our true nature is the universal light of consciousness, which is never affected by clouds or anything it shines on. This is what we are discovering and affirming in meditation. If we have tried meditation, we'll know that it's not easy to stay centered in our awareness. It's not easy to avoid getting lost in streams of thoughts and moods, to rise above the tide of the feeling that my thoughts, my emotions are what I am. This is why sustained, regular meditation practice is needed. Even when we have understood in principle the difference between consciousness and mind, between self and not self. Friends, to help us with this, I would like to reflect with you further on a deep truth about the nature of our consciousness, the light of awareness. It is that our consciousness is not just the passive witness of all our experience. Consciousness is not to be understood as just an onlooker, as it were. When fully revealed, consciousness is also known to be the reality in us. It is what we ultimately are. Our consciousness and our being are two words for the same reality, our ultimate self. It may not be obvious that what we call consciousness is not only the light of all experience, but is also the real nature of all that exists. Still, this is the truth, revealed in the direct experience of reality. Perhaps we have heard this before, but it is worth reflecting on deeply. Consciousness is the light and witness of all our experience. And it is not only that. It is what we are. It is our being. And it is the being, the reality in all, underlying the whole cosmos. This is why non-dual self-knowledge is total fulfillment. It is realization of our own awareness as identical in essence with the universal being called the Absolute, or God, or Brahman. It is being and knowing in one, without gaps, divisions, limits, or boundaries. This is the liberating truth. It is also here, at the heart of the human condition, that misunderstandings can arise. Because the light of consciousness is subtle and imperceptible, when it illumines the mind and reveals our experience, the feeling, I am this, which rightly belongs to consciousness, also gets imposed onto the mind. And this is why we have such a strong and persistent feeling that the mind is what we are. This is why separating consciousness from what we are conscious of takes ongoing inner application. But it is also why this effort is supremely worthwhile and rewarding. If we do our meditations in the recommended way, we make big, bold steps from constriction in the mind to freedom in universal light and being. So let's take our stand together in the light and truth revealed in our meditations, and let us turn to our practices. First, we begin with our inner preparation. We remember the reason for this is that we need to treat our mind wisely. It's unrealistic to think that the mind will adjust instantly, so we make this conscious inner preparation. During the day, the mind is engaged in dealing with the world. In meditation, its role is to turn within, to make itself quiescent, and give first place to a deeper reality present within us. We do this now by focusing on these words. O my mind, you're like a wave in the sea of reality. Be calm, be still. This is the way to knowledge and well-being. We repeat these words to ourselves and let them sink in. Encourage your mind to relax deeply into them and let the higher power within take charge. We'll do this for a minute or two. O my mind, you are like a wave in the sea of reality. Be calm, be still. This is the way to knowledge and well-being. The next part of our meditation session is a breathing practice. It is in 2 stages. First, breathe consciously and a little more slowly and deeply than usual. If possible, breathe through the nose. Try to make the in and out breaths the same length. As you breathe in, feel that the breath is being drawn up, as it were, from the region of the navel to the point between the eyebrows. And as you breathe in, hear the sound of the breath entering the body. Then breathe out consciously, bringing the attention back to the region of the navel, again hearing the sound of the breath. So let's do this together for 2 minutes now and establish this rhythm of conscious breathing. Conscious breathing through the nose. In and out breath the same length. Long, deep breaths. Lastly, keep up the breathing rhythm, and if possible, after each in-breath, pause for a moment with the attention at the point between the eyebrows. And after each out-breath, pause for a moment with the attention at the region of the navel. So draw up the in-breath, hearing the sound of the breath. Pause for a moment at the point between the eyebrows. Breathe out, and this time pause for a moment at the region of the navel. And we do this for 2 minutes now. Breathe in, pause. Breathe out, pause. 2 more rounds. Next, we are going to do our visualization practice, which is in 3 stages. Firstly, visualize yourself from the outside, as it were. See your body as you would appear to someone else. Just see yourself sitting as you are right now. Practice keeping your attention focused. If other thoughts come along, as soon as you notice, come back to the sight of yourself sitting as you are. Let's do this for 2 minutes together now. See yourself from the outside sitting just as you are. Keep focused on the vision of yourself, just as you are now. The next stage in the visualization is to see a bright light shining from your forehead. You continue to look at yourself and now see a light shining brightly from your forehead in all directions. Let's do this together now. Keep the attention on the vision of yourself and the bright light shining from your forehead all around. A bright light is shining from your forehead in all directions. Finally, visualize the light shining from your forehead becoming brighter and brighter until everything disappears in that light. See the light radiating from your forehead so bright that only the light remains. If other thoughts come in, as soon as you notice, let them dissolve in the bright light. The light shines brighter and brighter. There is only light, light, light. Light, light. Now we are going to meditate on our text, and it's this, as we know. As a wave is at one with the sea, so in my true nature I am one with the innermost self of all. When we meditate, we repeat the text inwardly a few times and let it sink in. The text reminds us that at the deepest level of our being, as pure consciousness, there are no divisions or limitations. As a wave is at one with the sea, so in my true nature I am one with the innermost self of all. In my true nature points to our I am, our immediate awareness. the same being, the same isness, is the source of everyone and everything. It is the innermost self of all. Let us reflect on that. If the mind wanders, calmly bring it back to the text or part of it and refocus. We meditate together now for 5 minutes. As a wave is at one with the sea, so in my true nature, I am one with the innermost self of all. As a wave is at one with the sea, so in my true nature, I am one with the innermost self of all. In my true nature, I am one with the innermost self of all. Keep focused for 1 more minute. In my true nature, I am one with the innermost self of all. Friends, as you know, it is important that we regularly have these special periods dedicated to meditation practice. It is not realistic to imagine that we can keep up the same level of concentration on the subtle reality throughout the day, while we do our jobs and fulfill our responsibilities. However, it is possible and desirable that the meaning of the meditation should remain in the background of our mind, forming a kind of standard by which we measure the true value of things. It will help us give due attention to the task in hand and the need of the moment, to be sympathetic as to why human beings are really as sensitive about themselves as they are, and to feel our fellowship with everyone in that sensitivity. So, to help us adjust from the meditation time to our roles in the world, let us do this closing practice. For a few moments, we offer thoughts of unconditional goodwill to all, without exception. Remembering the unity that underlies variety. So let us do this now. Unconditional goodwill to all. Thank you for being with me. Please stay in touch. It is always good to receive your beautiful thoughts, messages, questions. We are a worldwide family. We are together on this journey and one in the eternal light. I look forward to sharing time with you again soon.